What's up, everybody? I'm Simon Sabro, and today I got for y'all my top 10 favorite manga. So before I jump into that, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss an upload, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Simon Sabro YT. Link will always be down in the description. Also, if you're interested, I do have a YouTube membership and a Patreon. Link for those will also be down in the description. And also comment down maybe what's some of your favorite manga. So with all that out the way, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so getting into the list, it's not really in like any special order for real, but actually it kind of is. But we're gonna start the list off with number 10, and that is Siren. And Siren is a manga that I've read, I think maybe like 3-4 times by now. And it is one of my favorite manga. And actually, well, of course, it's on the list, but one of the first few manga I've ever read, really. And if you don't know what Siren is, I know it's been getting a lot of, recognition as of lately, but Siren is a manga that a lot of people would I've heard a lot of people usually like compare it to like a Shonen Gantz kind of. Basically it's about a main character named Ageha who is kind of put into this game where he has to travel to the future and kind of just do stuff in the future to save the present future, if that makes sense. It's very weird. It does focus on time travel a lot. The power system in this manga is really good, really interesting. And overall, this manga has really good characters, really good stylization, and honestly, the fights are amazing. The art as well is especially amazing. Especially as you start to get into like some of the later volumes, it is really good, really fluent. And I think it is honestly a manga that anybody could enjoy. So number 10 is gonna be Siren. Mostly because it is mostly just a nostalgia pick, as well as number 9 is also a bit of a nostalgia pick for me. And it is Bleach here at number 9. As you can see, this is the special edition one. I did pick it up when I went to Anime Expo. You could go check that video out if you're interested. But Bleach here is my number 9. Once again, also for nostalgia. And just want to say this volume is beautiful, honestly. But I feel like everybody here knows what Bleach is by now. I don't think I really have to explain it. It's about our boy Ichigo and a lot of supernatural stuff. But it is a very classic shonen. Like I said, I think by now everybody knows what Bleach is, and I shouldn't have to explain it. So that's our number 10, number 9, and at number 8 is actually one that I don't think a lot of people are gonna agree with, and that is Downfall by Inio Asano. Now, definitely a different kind of pick for an Inio Asano manga, because I know most people, when you think Inio Asano, you probably think of Solanin, Goodnight Punpun, or Dead Dead Demons. But for me, it is Downfall, and that's mostly because it's the first Asano work I've read. But also, I haven't read Punpun yet. I've only read this, Girl on the Shore, and Solanin. So keep that in mind. But Downfall is about a mangaka whose life is kind of, going downhill after he makes a hit. And I've heard a lot of people often compare this main character to Inio Asano himself, or this manga being kind of like a bit of an autobiography. And the main character here, once their career starts to go downhill, they kind of find comfort in women, specifically underage women, or underage looking women, I should say. And it is a very odd and disturbing manga, to say the least. It's definitely not for everybody, but I really just love this manga because it's just dark, but it's so well written, and Asano's art is just gorgeous. Especially once you meet one of, I forget their names, but this character right here, that's when the story really like starts to kick up, and it gets really interesting. Just seeing the relationship between the characters, just the message behind the whole story, and it really becomes a beautiful story towards the end. So after Downfall, we do have Imperfect Girl by Nishio Ishin, and it's drawn by Mitsuru Hattori. Now, I'm not really familiar with anything else drawn by Mitsuru Hattori, but Imperfect Girl is an amazing manga. It is by, like I said, Nishio Ishin, which is the creator of the Monogatari series, if you're familiar. And for one, the art in here is amazing, but above all else, the storytelling is really, really good. It is about our main character here. I believe he is addressed as I in the manga, and I is really just a novelist, and he's living his life as normal, and then there's a car accident, and in this car accident something really weird happens, and it's not any type of fantasy, it's not anything like that, it's very kind of set in the real world. But this character here, who is referred to as you, her friend got into an accident, and instead of rushing to help her friend, what she does first is she puts her game away and then rushes to help her friend, which is very odd. And from there, the story becomes very, very weird and very, very weird. But here's some of that beautiful art I was talking about. It is amazing, and it definitely portrays the setting and the kind of just the mental state of the characters very, very well. But this manga it's only 3 volumes, and in those 3 volumes so much happens, and it is so beautiful, and it is one I really want to reread very, very soon, because it is just that good, and it is really dark. It has a lot to do with, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it actually, but bad parenting, so to say. And it is very, very good. I can't recommend it to everybody, and unfortunately a lot of things on my list I really can't recommend to everybody because it is a lot of darker stuff, so to say. But after that, we do have another classic shonen, and that is Eyeshield 21. Eyeshield is a sports manga about football, and it is amazing. It is drawn by Yusuke Murata, and the story is by Riichiro Inagaki. And if you don't know, the artist is the same person that did One Punch. The storyteller is the same person who does Dr. Stone. So it is really, really, it's a good duo, I'll say that much. And the story is really amazing. The art is also, of course, really amazing. There's really not much to say about it. It is a sports manga. If you're familiar with sports manga, it does, follow very similar trends as such. But this one is just so good. And I believe it is the only sports manga I own off the top of my head. And this one, like I said, I keep saying it, but it is really good, really amazing. Just the growth of the characters throughout the story, just the cast growing, everything, it is amazing. Especially towards the end, there's so many twists and turns. All of the battles are so suspenseful, and it is really good. But after that, we do have one that's a lot newer, and the moment I finished this manga, I was like, top 10 easy, and that is Boys Run the Riot. It is 4 volumes, but this is such a beautiful story, and I honestly think almost anybody can enjoy it. It is about fashion, it is about transgender, it is, the main character alone is, honestly, there's, oh man, really every character actually in this manga is just amazing. So well done, so very realistic, so beautifully portrayed in this manga. And like I said, it is only 4 volumes, but the amount of character development at such a good pace in this manga is just amazing. The art, beautiful. Everything about this manga is just stellar, honestly. And I do wish it went on longer than 4 volumes, but at the same time, I think it ends so beautifully that I really can't even complain. It is about our main character named Rio, who is, by their body is female, but in their mind they are male. And it's just kind of about them learning to live with themselves. And that's how it starts off, at least. But it's just about teenagers just trying to live their life in the way they feel is most comfortable, really. And Rio starts a clothing brand, with this character whose name I believe was Jin. And they start off this brand, they get some other people involved, and it is just beautiful all around. There's some highs, there's some lows, there's some dark moments, some really light moments, and it is it's beautiful, and I'd really recommend this manga. So now at number 4 we do have Tokyo Ghoul, which is another manga I feel really needs no introduction. It is overall a beautiful story of just kind of the dynamic of once again really learning to live with themselves, because they're neither like black nor white kind of thing. They're just, in that weird gray area. And it is, like I said, a beautiful story. So the story is set in a world where there's both ghouls and humans. Ghouls are man-eating monsters, so to say, that look like human. And due to a set of events, Kaneki ends up half ghoul, half human. And it is him, like I said, just learning how to live with being in that gray area. And after, that, that's like really just probably like half of the first chapter. But after that, it is about kind of just ghouls versus police for the most part. And it is honestly a really amazing battle manga, so to say that, but it's not as, simple as the other ones. It's definitely has its own uniqueness. If you've ever read Happiness by Shuzo Oshimi, the beginning is fairly similar, but not all the way through. But if you liked Happiness, you would definitely enjoy Tokyo Ghoul. But this one, like I said, I don't really know what to say too much about it, because I kind of assume most people have already read it. But at number 3, we have a pick that once again needs no introduction, and I assume a lot of people know is one of my favorite series, and that is Death Note, in this beautiful black edition here. But Death Note is about our main character, Light Yagami, who acquires a Death Note, which is just a book that if you write someone's name in it, they die. That's for it, at the simplest point. And it's about Light trying to create a new world by killing all of the people he deems to be bad, so criminals and such like that. But then there's a detective named L, whose real goal is just to catch Light. That's about it. But it is a cat and dog story of Light trying to escape L while L is trying to catch Light. And it is very good. It is amazing. Most people will tell you that maybe like the first half of it is good, which I do agree with. The later half is kind of wacky, I'll be honest. But the art in here is amazing. It is by Takeshi Obata and Sugumi Oba, the creators of Bakuman and Platinum End. So if you're familiar with those, you probably already know what Death Note is. But like I said, the art is amazing, and the storytelling is really good. I wouldn't really say the characters are too good, I'll be honest. Mostly Light and L are definitely the best characters, without a doubt, of course. But one thing I will say is that, and this is really what almost all of the works written by Sugumi Oba, I'd say he's not the best at writing female characters, and you can definitely see that here in Death Note. But Death Note, like I said, really good series. If you haven't read it, I would definitely recommend it. I think it is something that almost, or really everybody can enjoy. Next we have I Am a Hero, and this is by Kengo Hanazawa. I don't think Hanazawa has any other works in English, but this one is, oh my god, the art in here is beautiful. It is about our main character, Hideo, and it is set in a world where there's a zombie apocalypse, and Hideo is the only character with a gun license, and a gun being a shotgun. And in Japan, it is extremely hard to acquire guns, so like I said, he's very special because of that. And it starts out, he's just kind of in a slump. He's not really sure where his life is going, but he just wants to be the main character of his own life. And it is once again just an overall really beautiful story. And especially as more characters get introduced, you start to get attached to these characters, just the relationships between these characters. It is really beautiful. The art is just amazing in this one. Of everything on the list, this is probably my favorite art. It is a very realistic art style. It doesn't look like cartoonish, if that makes sense, like a lot of others. The proportions look very real. The facial expressions are very weird, quirky, but at the same time kind of realistic. And I honestly really love it. This is another one I would definitely recommend to really anybody at all. Now, our last pick here is The Flowers of Evil by Shuzo Oshimi. This is the first work I ever read by Oshimi. So far, I have read Happiness and Blood on the Tracks, as well as Welcome Back, Alice. But The Flowers of Evil just holds that special place in my heart as, you know, the first one I ever read. And from reading this, I was like, every scene was just like, what? It was just overall a really, really weird and beautiful manga about just kind of a coming of age thriller story. And once again, it includes a lot of self-discovery amongst the characters. It is weird but enjoyable. I don't really know how to explain it, but it is, oh my god, it is about our main character here. Name I forgot, but I do remember, actually no, his name is Kasuga, I think, and this is Nakamura. I forgot the names for real, I'll be very honest, but this manga is just weird. So then there's this character here named Seiki, and Kasuga has a really, really big crush, is a bit of an understatement, but infatuation with Seiki, to the point where he, like, in his head he holds her on a pedestal, yet he's like never really talked to her. He's, you know, one of those characters. And then there's this character here, Nakamura, who's really, really weird, and she thinks that really everybody is below her. It's really weird. And in between these two females is our main character, Kasuga, who has a very interesting dynamic with the both of them. Now, I don't really want to explain too much of this, but to kind of start you off with something, it starts out here where Kasuga steals Seiki's gym clothes, and Nakamura witnesses him do it and uses it for blackmail. Now, it is very dark, very weird. Like, I know I keep saying it's weird, but it is definitely a really weird manga. And it's not for everybody, but I think if you pick it up, you will enjoy it. If you're not, you know, weirded out by it. But if you're familiar with really anything else by Oshimi, you'll definitely love it. And I really recommend that one. But that's really it for the video. Once again, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss an upload, all that good stuff. Once again, be sure to follow me on Instagram at SimonSabroYT. Check out my YouTube membership and Patreon if you're interested. And also, next week's video is going to be a manga haul about everything I got at Anime Expo and in Little Tokyo. So definitely, like I said, hit the bell if you want to see that. And go check out the, you know, kind of the vlogs for those if you're interested. But that's really it for me. This is Simon Sabro signing out. I'll catch you on the next one.